Have you been playing Palworld since launch? Or have you been thinking about playing Enshrouded but not sure if it's worth it? I have over 100 hours played in both, and these are my reasons why I quit playing Palworld for Enshrouded. Alright, so reason number one is the building and the way that you can alter the terrain. Enshrouded allows you to mine and destroy almost everything in the game. If you make your base in a town, you can dismantle the entire town or just use it as your base. There are so many different building materials, and the game offers more pre-built pieces than Palworld that you can use if you're trying to throw something together quick. Or you have the ability to use little blocks to make your own structures from scratch and fully customize your buildings. Apart from just being able to place structures, you can use terrain blocks or the rake and build your terrain if the area you're building in isn't flat enough to your liking, or you can make cliffs or hillsides to match your ideas. I have spent the last 20 hours alone just building my base and changing the terrain for what I have in mind. You can have up to 8 bases and combine them by placing your altar in or next to your building area, so there is more than enough space to build what you want. Bases aren't just for looks either, they have a purpose, such as a location to be able to place the NPCs that you unlock through quests, and the more you put in your base with lighting and decorations, the longer your rested bonus will last, and the rested bonus increases your max stamina, which is very important. Alright, so reason number 2 is the skill tree. With many different directions you can spec your character to suit your playstyle, there are so many options for you to choose from. And being able to reset your skill tree for just 10 runes without a cooldown allows you to switch for boss fights or if you're getting bored of the current skills you're playing with. The skill tree also allows you to branch out into other areas so that you can create hybrid classes, such as what I did with focusing on one-handed melee as well as archery. Earlier on, I went more of a magic build with wizard and healer and some towards melee. I think that this is something Palworld should have added rather than just a few attributes that barely change the game. My third reason is the combat and how much fun it is to run around the map killing mobs of enemies. Though the combat at first seemed like it might get too repetitive, the skill tree proved otherwise. After over 100 hours, I've not gotten bored yet. I think the difficulty of enemies plays a part in this, since just swinging your sword can end up getting you killed. You need to utilize the dodge and parry to stay alive, unless you just want to spam health potions or try to get a bandage off after taking damage instead. So with melee, there are either one or two-handed weapons, and a lot of them. With magic, there are wands and staffs. Wands have set elements to them, but staffs require staff charges, which you can choose the element you use, as well as 2 types of heal spells. The last weapon is the bow, and my favorite to use. It is needed for some of the ancient spire puzzles and very useful for fighting and hunting. There are many different arrows you can unlock throughout the game, with some being able to be infused with elements for extra damage on certain enemies. Now, my fourth reason is the detail of the world and how much there is to do and see. While it's still in early access like Palworld, there is a lot of empty map, which I assume is for future map growth. I can see snowy mountains in the distance, which I hope gets brought into the game soon, since the atmosphere in snowy environments has always been my favorite. One aspect that is unique to Enshrouded is the Shroud, which is basically a fog that covers a lot of the map and deadly if you run out of your Shroud protection timer. You can increase your initial time through potions or skills, and if you're running out of time inside, there are flame lanterns that replenish your Shroud protection so you can continue to do what you went into the Shroud for. Apart from the huge world, there are many quests to do for progressing through the game and the NPCs. Each NPC has its own quest line that unlocks different crafting stations to get things like better gear, potions, crafting materials, things for farming, and building materials. Last but not least, my fifth reason is all of the quality of life aspects in the game. First off being the fact that you don't become hungry or thirsty, and instead food and drinks give you buffs such as health or stamina increase, rather than being necessary for surviving like other survival crafting games. Then not having to use your crafting materials to repair your gear and it just automatically repairing when you enter the crafting table is really nice. Where in Palworld, that was a constant issue for me. Another feature is gifting. Being able to transfer gear or materials to your friends within a close vicinity is super convenient and a big time saver when you and a buddy are trying to get an item crafted, or if they run out of arrows, or you get a piece of gear that you don't need. One of the biggest issues for me in Palworld was the carry weight, where Enshrouded has 0 carry weight, allowing you to never worry about what or how much you're carrying. Now that I've covered my 5 reasons, I want to say that I don't hate Palworld and still think it's a great game with potential. It has its features that set it apart from other games, such as being able to capture creatures and have them perform your crafting and farming for you so that you can just run around the map doing what you want. Then being able to use guns and there technically being more boss fights is a plus, though I blew through them pretty quickly and reached endgame a lot faster than I did in Enshrouded. And with mentions of a PvP arena down the road, I will be picking up Palworld again in the future. If you made it to the end of the video, I want to give a huge thanks and hope you found the video helpful. If so, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. I will be making a base building video as well as showcasing my mega base when I'm done, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you all in the next one.